it's Robin, Art Silent Crafts, and welcome to my studio. This is my Whip It Wednesday video where I show you the crafty goodness that I've been working on this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me during the live stream. I had a lot of fun making a Santa hat. All the links to where I found the pattern and everything is on the live stream down below, in that little drop box down below the video. I know several of you had talked about making your own Santa hats also, and that makes me happy when you guys see a project that I'm working on that you enjoy and you want to make it too. Now in the next live stream, which will be on the 15th of December at 3 p.m. Eastern as usual, I will find another block to go with this. So if you only made one Santa hat, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to look for at least one more block. Actually, the designer that did the Santa hat has other blocks available, so I'm going to go through there and see what else she has. I know she has one with 2 stockings on it. I think there was like a plain stocking and then a patchwork stocking or something. But of course, you can always change things up with your fabric. So that way you can have at least a couple different ones. And I, of course, will link you to the blog post and you can look at what they did for their, I think it was a Christmas quilt along she called it, or a holiday quilt along. You can see what they made and then choose what you want. I haven't done anything with these yet because I keep looking at them and I keep thinking I might want to sew them all together and put a red and white stripe binding around it and call it done. I really like the aqua with the snowflakes, the white with the snowflakes, and the ho ho ho. When I first started pulling fabrics for it, I definitely thought I was just going to make one block for myself, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll make one block for the shop. And as you can see, that turned into 4. So I'm not going to do anything with it yet. I am leaning towards just making it up and having it for next year for Christmas to hang up in my new space. But for now, like I said, I'm going to hold off and work on other blocks and then decide. I might make a 5th Santa hat for another little mini quilt, a little 4-patch like this, and have 4 different things that I'll then put in the shop. But for now, as I said many times, that this is just going to have to go into hibernation for a little bit and hold off until I decide what I'm going to do. When I first make something like this, I tend to fall in love with it and I decide that, oh, I'm going to keep it. But then I'm like, you can't keep everything. Put it in the shop. What if someone else fell in love with it? So if anyone else has fallen in love with it, let me know. I would be more than happy to finish this up and put it in the shop for you and then make a new version for myself. Or you can just wait and see what other ones I make. I do have more of the ho 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 fabric, so I will probably make an identical hat. Different background though, because I have to actually, I might have enough for one background, but I don't know if I have enough for an entire mini quilt without making an order from Joann's. I don't mind making an order from Joann's, and I probably will, but since I'm going to be doing the live stream in just a couple weeks, I want to make sure, about a week and a half, I want to make sure that I have enough fabric on hand while waiting for this order from Joann's, because it's December and it could take a while, and I don't want to step into Joann's right now because I'll buy more fabric. Let's be realistic. There's holiday fabric out there. I've seen it online. I'd love to get a bunch of more quarter cut yards to go for my Patreon quilt along, but I'm gonna wait until after Christmas, see what they have. Or you can't really wait till after Christmas with Joann's. They probably have their holiday fabric on sale now, or will be in a week or 2, and then I'll go up and see what my store has to offer. Now with 4 blocks, it gave me 8 times to have the bonus half square triangles or the bonus cutoff pieces, and for me, I decided to stick with my quarter square triangles, and I've sewn them all together and trimmed them down to a 2.5 inches. So those will go into my collection, and I'm not worried. I'm gonna put in Halloween stuff and Christmas stuff. I'm gonna mix them all together when I put this with my quilt. There's a high chance that these are going to get mixed in with my flying geese scraps, and I have no problem with that. I really like the way they look together in the Halloween tote that I made, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that again. I like having that little tidbit of a memory of the different projects I've worked on, and then just put them all into one quilt. I've been working on the elf postcards. These have their thread all the way around it. I can't show you the back because they're all labeled with addresses and ready to go out. I still have this stack to go. I put about that size stack out in the mail today. I don't like to put them all in the mailbox at once because the cellophane wrapper that you go on, the little sleeve that you put on here, I find that it's a little slippery, and I don't want one to get lost, to slide out somehow if the mail lady doesn't put it in the container or as it's going through. If I put a big stack in there, I don't want anyone's to get lost along the way. So I usually just take about a week and I put a handful out each day until they're all out. I think I have maybe 5 or 10 more that I have to do, that I have labels that are already set for my patrons to go out. I've sent out my international ones. They are always the ones that go out first because they have the farthest to go, of course. And then I will have the rest available to go into my shop. I'm hoping to have them in the shop by this weekend. Watch my community tab here on YouTube and my Instagram account, and I will notify you guys on there that they're in the shop. Also, if you follow my shop, Etsy will let you know when I put a new item in. I'm going to hold a few back, probably 5 I usually like to hold back, just in case any new patrons sign up in December or even sometimes into January. I like to go ahead and send them this year's Christmas fabric postcard. Even though I send them all out at the beginning of December, if someone joins on December 25th for Christmas, I still want to make sure they have the current Christmas's fabric postcard for this year. That sentence didn't seem to make sense as I was saying it, but hopefully you understand what I mean. I also finished my Snowman mug rugs. I chose not to put any faces on mine. If someone purchases these, they can always take a little Sharpie and draw their own faces in. I tend to really mess things up when I put faces on. Sometimes I think ahead and I go ahead and do a little embroidery face, and other times I just use a fabric marker or a Sharpie to draw it in, especially if you're just going to put some dots on. But I decided that my snowman, maybe he's facing away from us and that's just the back of his head and we just can't see his face. Yeah, that's the story I'm going to go with. My family laughed at me all the time when I tried to put faces on the crocheted items that I made. It always took something that was cute and adorable and turned it into something frightening and scary, which I guess those are both the same things, but you know what I mean. I ran a bunch of errands this morning. I got a haircut and I drove across all the way across town, which is like 8 miles away. So really it's not that far, but it's just a whole bunch of traffic. I drove in the fog this morning. It was an adventure, and now I guess I'm a little bit slap happy this afternoon from after my errands and stuff. Sometimes just getting a haircut is an adventure in my life. But these are all finished. I love the way they turned out. I think they turned out so cute and adorable. I like the stitching on the back. I wouldn't put these down and put a coffee mug or hot cocoa on it or something. I would probably put it like on a little table that they have behind the couches or at the entryway. And if you want, you can put a little glass, you can put anything you want on it, it's yours. But I envision a little glass with a candle, whether you light it or not, or some candy in it. Or you could just hang them up on the wall. If these were to stay here at my house, I would just hang them both on the wall. But that red and white stripe binding just makes me smile. And if I showed you these finished last week, my apologies. I have not put them away yet, so my natural thought was that I haven't shown them. I know I showed them to you, I just don't know if I showed them to you with the binding. So if anyone's interested, please check out my shop. The link is down below in the description box. Give my poor snowman a new home. It's the little things for me. The snowflake fabric on a snowman makes me smile. My other little big project that I've been working on is the coin pouches. So these just need to be stitched across the top. I went ahead and flipped these right side out the other night. I was getting just a little bit too tired to be sewing. I was actually dozing off at the sewing machine, so I thought it was a good time to just go ahead and stop. And I just spent, it takes a while to turn these the right side out and get everyone all nice and relatively neat and ready for pressing. So I finished those off before I went to bed. Now this one is actually flannel that I picked up a remnant of it recently. I like to use flannel and other types of fabrics in the little zipper pouches. I think it has a nice soft feel to it. I like the colors and the way the background is that gray and it's just kind of like worn out as if you painted something and then wipe the paint away. And I think it works out really well as a zipper pouch. I still put the fusible fleece on it that I use for my coin pouches, and it just gives it that little extra stability that while a quilting cotton has it, but these are just a little bit more squishy, and this is just a little bit more soft to the feel and a little firmer to stand up like that. So this week's plan, other than working on some videos, is to get these finished, get my elf postcards finished. The reality is I don't think I'm going to fit it into my schedule to find the patterns and do a test block and get everything ready for the live stream, especially when I know that as you're watching this, today is December 6th, and I have until the 15th before I have to actually have everything ready for you guys. Going to be working on a decision paralysis video. I am hoping that that's going to be Friday the 8th video for you guys. I've had a few people to just ask various questions about how I handle it, how I schedule my day, how I can get so much done, how I can get nothing done on some weeks. And it's all around that same thing where we all have so many things to do and we just can't, we're like overloaded. We can't decide where to start because there's just so many things to do. I'm going to discuss the things that didn't work for me that I've tried in the past, that I tried earlier this year, and the things that I'm starting to zone in on that I find that's been helpful for me. I still bring in some of the old stuff that I was doing before, but for the most part, I find that it's really working. I'm using a planner, but not in a way that a planner is supposed to be used, and not in the way that I used it earlier this year, and still not in the way that I thought I was going to use it when I purchased it. So come and hang out with me. That'll either be this Friday or the Friday after the live stream, and we'll just have a sit-down chat and we'll just talk about life. So your scrappy word for today is Santa hat. Do you guys have a Santa hat that you wear every year? We used to have them. Rob and I used to wear them. Well, Rob wore them more than I did. I had one that I used to put on top of the Christmas tree after the kids got older and moved out and stuff. And I don't think I have them anymore. They were of that not great quality that you pick up at Walmart. Over the years, it kind of gets crispy and crunchy and stuff. So I just ended up tossing those out. I always tell myself that I'm going to knit or crochet one for myself. I have a couple of great patterns that I like, so maybe that's what I will do this summer, is start working on some knitwear for myself. So hope everyone stays warm, be safe out on the roads. A lot of people are getting snow that don't normally get snow or haven't had snow in a while. My daughter's actually driving in snow, totally crazy. I don't think I've ever driven in snow. We stayed in upstate New York for about a year and a half. We were there for the most part like half of one winter and then a whole other winter. And I don't think I actually ever drove in actual snow. I think I only drove when the roads were completely clear, plowed, and everything was melted and it was safe. Mostly because my husband didn't want me driving in snow since I never had, and he was there all the time, so he just did the driving. It worked out fine. So be safe. Finish up your Christmas shopping. Before we know it, it's going to be Christmas Eve and it might be too late. Start thinking about picking up your supplies if you're going to be making any special treats and cookies. I've been watching on Instagram. A lot of people are already making their cookies and freezing them ahead of time, or just freezing the dough. Same thing with pies and stuff like that. I am definitely in a baking mood, but I really don't think I'm going to do very much this year. I've already made some pumpkin pies and I've made dozens of muffins and stuff. I actually made some baked pumpkin donuts the other day. And I think for now, maybe I'll just make one kind of cookie this year and that'll be about it. So thanks so much for hanging out with me and always listening to me ramble. Thank you so much for watching my Advent series for me and my friend. We are having a lot of fun. For us, it's like this long extended thing. We enjoy shopping for each other throughout the year. We enjoy wrapping it up and sending it, and then we get the thrill of opening it, and then we get to enjoy watching you. Then we get to have that fun and excitement of you guys watching the videos and guessing what's in each package, and then, you know, whether you have the same thing or you really enjoy it or something like that. So thank you guys so much for watching the Advent series. I know a lot of you will wait until after Christmas and then just watch them all in a row. I have no problem with that because I do the same thing. I have about 3 or 4 that I watch every day, and the rest I save up for after Christmas, because that after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, sometimes it's a little bit of a slump. Not a lot of people are posting videos, and there's no Christmas. We went through the big excitement of the year, and it feels like a little bit of a letdown, and that's when I like to watch all those other Advent videos so I can just keep it going a little bit farther. That's it for real this time. I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.